Ah, the bad guy with the cat, of course.
Well, it's our Romefeller guy, which I'll keep calling him until we're given a name for this organization. I guess he could also be Ozymandias. He's got all the screens. Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we're back with another episode of Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Destiny. Thoughts? Thoughts about last episode?
Now that I think about it, I'm not very... It's going to happen, and we don't know how much damage is going to happen, but the fact that they're retracing the nuking of the Earth, especially when they went to all this effort in the last, and you kind of express the same ideas, basically. And the ending of Seed is like, oh, we did all this so that people didn't kill each other. Now we're just doing Operation British again, which here, I guess I'm now starting to feel why people feel Destiny is not that great, you know?
Well, remember that Seed took its cues from original Mobile Suit Gundam because it was supposed to be like the reimagining or the reboot or remake or whatever. So it's not that they're redoing Operation British. It's just, I guess they are still pulling cues from the original, but they're obviously not doing it in the same way.
But it feels very much like, oh, remember that when we saved the Earth and all that? It kind of feels like when I talk about Macross Zero, like, oh yeah, you saved the Earth from that alien that was going to kill all humanity. And then...
Which I still feel like is the dumbest argument you've made to date. Because the point is that we shouldn't do anything, because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. Right? It's like, well, no, that's a dumb argument. Don't push that. You're usually so intelligent, Lessons. Don't be fatalistic all of a sudden.
And this still sounds like, hey, remember when we saved the human race from a double tragedy? Yeah. How about we now write a story where we nuke the Earth?
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it's not as dumb as you think. Literally every episode of 24 is built on this concept.
I didn't like
Great. No, I didn't either, but it's the whole idea that he's saving like every hour, like something fucking's happening.
But it feels like in comic books when they're like, oh, it's a Tuesday. How many times have we saved the city already? I'm like, I don't know, 5 times since Monday. I'm like, oh wow, why bother even mentioning?
Well, to be fair, in comic books, it's because there's superpowered individuals all over the place. Each one can individually, end human existence probably as we know it. Plus, you're saying how many times you save the city. You're not even talking about the people who, like Guardians of the Galaxy, were out there stopping threats to the entire, solar system or whatever, included. Every day, a million things are happening.
What I'm saying is that if
I'm applying it to this, though, because it's the same thing. Why did we even fight World War I if World War II was just around the corner? It's like, you didn't know until it was coming.
But here, I would say, as from a writing point of view, right? Because you're doing it from the in-universe. I'm doing it from the writer's point of view. And I'm like...
well, we know. We already talked about Star Trek 6. It's literally, okay, the entire original series were in fights with the Klingons. We did the whole Klingon thing through a couple of movies, and now it looks like we're going to sign peace with them. But wait, we have warlike factions on both sides who still want to fight this out.
Yeah, that's not the problem. The problem is let's go and nuke the Earth as a way of restarting this war, right?
I did think during it that super weapons are Gundam's R-word, if you will.
Yeah.
What's the one thing we can do to show that these guys are evil? Well, they can't R-word everyone, but they could.
Oh, yeah. Oof.
Yes, there's 2 things we can do, to make everyone 100% sure that these guys are evil. One, highly unlikely. It's not an efficient way that we can get this done. But we do have super weapons, and
we do have genocide.
Gundam loves its super weapons.
True. So...
Well, yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me, because, it's just what's the one thing we can do that nobody would forgive? And that's what we as characters want to happen, not to be forgiven, to make sure that they will want to start a war.
But then if that's the case, then how you make it? I mean, you kind of make it impossible to forgive because you're like, yeah, I want to forgive you, but you destroyed my home planet. You know?
That's the point of the bad guys is they want to be unforgivable because they want the war to continue. The peace treaty is the antithesis to their desire. So how do we make sure a peace treaty never happens? And I understand you're saying from a writer's perspective, how do we get that peace treaty back on the table? Well, maybe we don't.
So
Seed never solved the problem in the first place. They got to the peace table, which is great, but they never answered the question, which has been at the heart of Seed. How do we get people to stop wanting to hurt on others for the hurt that they themselves have felt? They never answered that question, and it's been the most real element of Seed, the 100% through, is that we haven't solved that answer. We haven't found that answer in real life. So as some writer going to come up with it all of a sudden. If that writer came up with it, we might as well call him Jesus fucking Christ, because he'll have brought peace on Earth.
Okay, my point is that they could have tried to go with something a little bit different at least, or wait longer in the series to develop the situation and then go, oh, by the way, we got to the point where somebody is mad enough to drop this. Right? It feels gimmicky. That's what it feels like. It feels gimmicky. It feels like, oh, we need to get this thing going. We need people to get angry and justify a war. Drop them nuke. I mean,
well,
no
they're
nukes.
already angry. Remember, this is the continuation of a previous story, and it's been several months since that last event, which is, I guess, the time it took for these people to organize.
Yeah.
Again, it doesn't feel not earned to me, and it feels like we need to do this early only to justify the stories we're going to try and tell in that space. We want these characters to be here, but we need this to happen first. And apparently it's 50 episodes, so clearly they need the time. I'm going to assume they need the time, giving them the benefit of the doubt that they're not going to fuck this up with a bad story. It's not going to be like Macross 7 where we just had too much time.
And then ended up flat. I know, Chad. I know you. If you're being ones watch Macro 7 and like Macro 7, I'm the bad guy on that way. I know, but still.
Yeah, you're the Macross. You're me from Macross Plus.
Yeah,
we mirror imaged ourselves. But I mean, again, it doesn't feel unearned to me. And again, what I was saying before, I would prefer it if they didn't solve the problem.
Yeah, but
not solving the problem would be real. I don't want somebody to make up a solution to world peace, because at that point you'd be like, well, why don't we just fucking do that in real life? I don't want the writer to feel like they're smarter than the entire fucking human race.
I mean, it's not that okay, I'm going to put that to side one moment. I'm going to say this. And I was going to say something, and then I blanked out. That's wonderful. That's great. Lessons. Okay, here's the thing. Because that's the thing. I can also suffer from what's called grimdark. Fatigue. Fatigue. Grimdark fatigue, right? We're like, oh wow, this is shocking. The first time it happened, whatever. Like, if you start 79, right? I mean, I already knew 79 started that way, but the first time I was like, wow, the motherfuckers just killed billions of people. Oh my god! But then it's like, oh, and then we're gonna do it again. We're gonna do it again, and you're like, okay, I get that.
Billy, I'm getting spoilers for you to center
here. Or any other series, like jumping to other series.
I agree with you on this basis, only because I've called this just being jaded from anime before, because, I watch Operation British, and it's like, oh, that's fucking, but then we watch, planets get destroyed in Macross, and just across entire, or Gurren Lagann throwing,
or
galaxies
when we're
around.
talking about Macross, hey, they destroyed the Earth. Wow, again, I knew I was coming. I was like, I'm going to be what Theta's reaction was. And it was a good reaction because you didn't expect it. But like every other series, they're like, yeah, and we're just going to kill this planet. And like what happened we're watching Frontier, it's like, No, they go kind of the third of a planet, so isn't that bad?
Yeah,
You
because
know?
again, you're expecting a big reaction because it's like, I mean, visually it looks cool, but we've
Yeah.
already destroyed a planet in the series before, so
Yeah. So it's like, I get a break? I mean, yeah, I know that people suffer. This is the benefit sometimes of making actually things impact smaller.
well,
Like,
just to address your thing about grimdark fatigue. Sorry, fantasy was the word. For your fatigue, I'm not talking about going full grimdark though. Like this
yeah.
thing doesn't look. I still don't think this is going to be the size of Operation British. That this is going to be a message, in the way that I said during the notes. That hey, here's your note for peace, and we're going to slap you in the face with it, and there will be damage to the Earth, but it won't be so big as to like kill half the human population or whatever. And when we end the show, we're going to end it in a real way. Like, I guess my example would be Witch from Mercury, where there's like this massive thing where we're planning to basically digitize all of the humanity so that the main character's sister, who lives in that digital space, can be like everybody else, whatever. The show ends with like the bad guy going to jail, the people in charge of the corporations having to like do press conferences and then go to like jury, not jury, go to court and everything like that. And the world is just the same as it started, just the bad guys of the show are now being brought to justice. Otherwise, nothing else has changed. Same thing here. We might beat the bad guys of the show, but the world stays the same as it ever was, which is to say, pretty realistic. People just don't get over shit.
Yeah.
And I don't consider that to be grimdark, but that's the way I would prefer it to go. Because once again, if they just made up a reason for everyone to be happy, friendly with everybody, and
I think clearly they were going to ramp up and continue the war, right? It's just that, again, using something that they're repeating, it feels like kind of gimmicky. Like, yeah, there's a combination of things. It's the feeling that it's a bit gimmicky, right? The dropping of the and it's like, oh, and also it's the things like, oh, they're gonna try to save it. It's gonna be close. I know I know they're gonna fail.
well, it's in the ending of the show, so we know it's
Yeah,
going to
so
fail for
they're gonna
that.
fail. So and they even give us the preview. Somebody looking at the beach and looking at this thing falling on top of them, right? Not on top of, but at the
I don't
distance.
actually remember the preview. I've already forgotten.
Yeah,
But
it's
no, I
like,
mean,
yeah,
I didn't feel gimmicky to me, only because again, I think I see the message in it. Like we're using your symbol of peace as a weapon, and it doesn't feel like gimmicky. Maybe it feels a bit. God, I can't remember the word.
okay,
Maybe corny. Yeah,
corny maybe.
yeah. A bit camp, but I feel like that's the poetic message that's trying to be sent.
It's too on the nose too. It seems like very much on the nose.
Well, to be fair, if you plan this out for several months and you're like, what's the best way we can do this? We could hit them with one of the many giant floating bits of debris that's already in orbit. Yeah, but how can we make it that much worse? Well, let's use their own literal message of peace against them. Because apparently it's zaft that's doing it, some branch or faction of zaft. So it's not the Earth Alliance using the thing that we nuked and killed them with, or the graveyard of the dead of Zaft. It's Zaft using the location that the Earth Alliance made the peace treaty at them. It's basically we're post World War II. We're starting to form the United Nations, and then branch of the Soviet Union decides no, we need to keep fighting this war, and then the CIA goes rogue. It's like it's like many international spy thrillers essentially.
I'll see what happens, but yeah, it feels off for me.
Again, I think the thing that we've discussed many times is I have a high bar for bullshit, and we're still well below it. Like I could see the poetic meaning in it, which gives it something, which pushes it down. It gives it weight. Because if it was just oh, we put rockets on one of the plants, and now we're going to attack the Earth, and we're just doing literal Operation British. Like, yeah, that's kind of That's on the nose. That is 100% we're ripping off again. But this is they're using their own continuity and they're using their own stuff and they're kind of trying to make it work as best as possible. It's like, I appreciate that. You're working within your own stuff, even if you are inspired by something else.
That's all I had to say.
All right, well, I guess let's go ahead and get on into it.
But before we get started,
Make sure that you hit the like button.
Hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
on top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
Unfiltered.
Uncensored.
And uncut.
as well as some early access stuff,
You can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
なんだってユーニュース7が動いてるって一体なぜ
それはわかりません。だが動いている
Just remember to turn it back
それ
to
はかなりの速度で
Japanese, not English.
軌道の変更など不可能だ。衝突を回避したいのなら砕くしかない。
でもでかいぜ
オルテールとルソーがメテオブレーカーを持ってすでに先行しています。
ああ、こち
I
らも
guess the other negative that they don't have, that Universal Century does,
一機でも多い方がいいって
is the fact that even before Operation British,
モビルスーツには
parts of the Earth were uninhabitable.
どういうことだ
You got that in Origin, like Africa is mostly uninhabitable.
Yeah.
Because that would give them somewhere that they could target this thing to hit, where it would have next to no consequence to the people there.
おやめになります。
バカにするな アスランザラ出る
Oh, sorry, I mean Alex Dino. I mean, it'd be good if he was at least a little bit consistent with his nickname.
こんなひよっこどもに我らの思いやらせはせんわ今さら大将下がれひとまず下がるんだゲイツのライフルを射出する略かメテオブレーカーを守れ俺もすぐに出る
At least the what do we call them? Neo-Zaft?
Yeah.
At least the Neo-Zaft had the presence of mind to paint their gins differently. Because otherwise it'd be real confusing. I mean, both in universe and as a viewer.
Yeah.
What does he do that for? The shield
cool.
thing?
Yeah. Really cool. Look at me, Mom. Well, actually, also activating, I guess, the extending the
Yeah, but
thing that they have.
conceivably he could do that off to the side where no one could see it too.
Yeah.
付近に母艦は
見当たりませんけどなぜこんなユニュース7の軌道をずらしたのはこいつらってことですか
Yeah, there's no mothership. Where do they launch from?
でもそういうことならなおさらこれを地球へ落とさせるわけにはいかないわ。レイたちにもそう伝えてちょうだい。はい。
姫
No, seriously, like 3 episodes I said, stop calling me princess.
ご存知なかったのですか
Well, excuse me,
自
princess.
分も作業を手伝いたいと言ってきて今はあそこですよ
Oh, so that no, he doesn't get a death flag.
What, Atherin?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think anybody actually has a death flag. There is an increasing depth to the death flag
Yeah.
that like Gundam protagonists just don't get. Like, you really gotta spell it out. I guess eventually we're gonna see the Earth Alliance characters. Well, I guess I say Earth Alliance, I'm
Yeah.
thinking of Lacus. I don't know why. Probably because she was on an Earth Alliance ship. Like, I don't know where War Reporter Hall is gonna show up.
And that's all. I didn't know that was all.
What?
The reporter.
What are you talking about? Just to make sure we're on the same page.
You said war reported Hall.
Yeah.
I saw somebody being a reporter. I didn't know that was Hall.
Yeah, no, I brought that up in my notes for the episode 3 during episode 3. That when I did my opening breakdown, that looks like she becomes a war reporter. But yeah, that's Haw. So far, all we've gotten is Athrin, Kigali, Durka, Yazik. I'm not counting the people from the HD remaster that appeared in the... my boy's going out. And yeah, being in the opening doesn't prevent you from getting killed. I know that.
Yeah.
Miguel was in the first opening for the first season of Seed, and he was killed in the first episode. So, that didn't make any sense. I will say I'm not super entertained that Zaku's are now the main mobile suit of Zaft. I said a long time ago that Jins look a lot cooler than Zaku's do.
Oh, they're gonna kill everybody, basically. Oh, well, I guess they're...
Maybe this is your answer to the whole cloak thing. Because they say there is no mothership here, and they are here, they're just fucking cloaked. That's my question.
難しいな。私は地球軍とはしたくなかったのだが。
どんな火種になるかわかりませんものね。
Yeah, I also made a mistake when I was just talking there for a minute. The whole cloak thing, I forgot for a moment that the Zaft forces weren't launching from an Earth Forces ship.
Yeah.
だが状況は変わった。
この非常時に際し、彼らが自らを地球軍、もしくはそれに準ずる部隊だと認めるのなら、この場での戦闘には何の意味もありません。
I think they're just killing everybody, basically. They're fighting everybody.
Yeah, they're not part of Janus 7's launch towards Earth, but they are aiding it for some reason.
No, but they're also attacking the Jins as well, so they're just killing everybody.
仕方ないわ。あの機体がダガーだったら、あなただって地球軍の関与を疑うでしょ。
ボギー1とコンタクトが取れるか。
国際救難チャンネルを使えば。
Yeah, but I mean, by the fact that they're killing everyone means that they are in fact aiding Janus 7's fall.
Yeah.
If they were only attacking one side, then you could, like, say one thing or the other.
Damn. Just a punch in the face.
Well, I mean, conceivably, if you punch a Gundam in the chest, you're punching the cockpit.
Yeah.
Which could knock a guy out. Look, I can do the one thing. We gotta fight where ground is capable.
Yeah, hit in the leg.
Yeah, but that one blew it off, it looked like. I'm gonna get Germany?
France. That's
Is it
London.
France?
That's
Oh, yeah.
England. Nobody's been told. Well, I guess they're told what happened. They're
I
just waiting
constantly
around
get in my head, Brandenburg Gate and Arc de Triomphe mixed up. I guess the difference is the Arc de Triomphe has the giant circle car thing around it. And no, remember all the world governments were told. Yeah, see? Everyone knows. I guess they just didn't get told where it's coming down. What?
Yeah, I guess the United States is still a thing.
Why? There's an Atlantic Federation, part of a greater... I don't know. Also, he didn't clean up the beach? I guess to be fair, he is blind. He wouldn't know it was there. The cyber president of New Brazil. The jokes I'm holding back right now.
Ah, the bad guy with the cat, of course.
Well, it's our Romefeller guy, which I'll keep calling him until we're given a name for this organization. I guess he could also be Ozymandias. He's got all the screens. And a cat-based pet. Somebody call Bruce Willis. How did that... I guess there could be multiple teddy bears. Remember, that one was in a room before. So it looks like Minerva sent them a text.
Yeah, the emergency channel.
Which is the weirdest thing, because when they contacted the Impulse, they sent him a text too. That's the thing I want to do in the middle of combat. What's that thing they're sending? It does kind of feel like maybe it's half an island-ish.
Yeah.
Well, because of the giant pillar that's there on the side, would have to be the bottom half of a plant. So that means this is at least half as big as a plant. If only we had stopped and asked for questions. Angry face, smile face. What the hell's going on with you, Yazik? Oh, my neck! Well, they picked a side, it looks like.
No, they're all working. They're all part of SAF. These guys are trying to stop them from doing the breaker.
No, yeah.
No, see, they're still attacking everybody.
Well, they weren't a second ago.
Yeah.
今は俺が隊長だ。エレスラ民間人が
I thought maybe the text they got from Minerva had made them pick a side.
No, they just received it.
I thought it was a while ago. Plenty of time for a radio communication.
あれがヤキンドゥエを生き残ったパイロットの力かよ。シン、何をしている？作業はまだ終わってないんだぞ。もう
Now they've been told to retreat.
Girl, you crazy.
そうかもしれませんし、別の理由かもしれません。
別の理由？
コードです。ユニウス7と共にこのまま降下していけば、やがて船も地球の引力から逃れられなくなります。
Yeah, how my other favorite captain died. Frederick. Got too low, couldn't pull out, burnt up in orbit.
艦長。
こんな状況下に申し訳ありませんが、議長方はボルテールへお移りいただけますか？
え？
ミネルヴァはこれより大気圏に突入し、限界までの監視法による対象の破砕を行いたいと思います。
艦長、それは
どこまでできるかは分かりませんが、でもできるだけの力を持っているのに、やらずに見ているだけなど後味悪いですわ。
I will say this in the negative category. Sometimes a lot of these characters feel like stereotypes of season 1 characters.
I mean, yeah.
Well,
That's the thing
she
about-
just feels like Marius. She even looks like Marius a lot.
ボルテールにデュランダル議長の異常通達。モビルスーツに機関信号。
私はここに残る。アスランがまだ戻らない。それにミネルヴァがそこまでしてくれるというのなら、私も一緒に。
しかし、犠牲者の方にはまだ他にお仕事が。
Yeah, see, she's being selfish.
お止めはしませんが。
You've got a duty to others first, not to what seems honorable in the time.
共に降下する。総員に次ぐ。
So not a lot of good stuff has bode well to people who leave in
監視法による破片破砕
these little
Got it, yeah.
ships. Yeah.
各員マニュアルを参照。迅速なる行動を期待する。何をやってるんです？帰還命令が出たでしょ。通信も入ったはずだ。
ああ、分かってる。君は早く戻れ。
一緒に吹っ飛ばされますよ。いいんですか？
ミネルヴァの監視法といっても、外からの攻撃では確実とは言えない。これだけでも。あなたみたいな人がなんでオーブになんか。
My dick.
I mean, oh, these three assholes.
これ以上はやらせん。
More damage? Dude, you guys want to kill everybody on Earth.
Well, yeah, because they want a never-ending war. They're in the same category as Gop, basically. In another show, obviously, but
この墓標を落としてやかれば世界は変わらぬ。娘、何よ。
oh, I get it.
無残に散った命の嘆き忘れ。撃った者らとなぜ偽りの世界で笑うか。貴様らは。
Specifically, I mean, oh, yeah, see, Seagull Climb, by the way. People didn't feel anything when Nicole died, and because they're like, oh, Nicole, he's like playing the piano. It's like, no, Nicole gave us whole thing about people he knew died at Janus 7 too. So if they don't feel anything for people who suffered loss at Janus 7, then of course they're never going to appreciate these people whose whole thing is the losses we've incurred.
Ah, they're from the Sala.
Yeah, but I mean, specifically this guy is on the Make Them Pay for Janus 7 track, which Patrick, you know, tied into. I was gonna make a joke that this faction is basically Zaft Classic.
Yeah.
When they've got the Jins and also they're on the Patrick side of things.
The thing needed to go down. Good work, guys.
Man, don't you hate it when you get your arm shot off and it like activates the thing? That guy's.
Well, that guy's not gonna live.
Well, I mean, we already know his whole family's dead too, so no one to mourn. Unless he had, well, no, probably his other friends were the other two guys that died too. I'm not worried about that one. Here's the thing. I don't think it was shown in the movie. Gazek fell from orbit to the surface.
Yeah? Oh, okay.
And was never explained how he survived. Oh, so the guy watching was Kira. That legit is the title card for a Final Fantasy game if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy Dawnbringers.
Go. So now Kira gets involved, and Shin wants to kill Kira because he blames her for the death of the family.
Assume.
Yeah.
Oh, well, who? Shit. Who are we looking for? No, Stella's not next to him. I don't see. I don't.
No.
Lacus is in the background with a bunch of the mechanics. Yeah, no, Stella's just back there with those three. Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's the motivation of basically everybody from Zaft before.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Athrun has the whole conversation with Nicole. Why are you fighting? Oh, I've lost people at Janus 7. Why are you fighting? My mother died at Janus 7. So, you know, Athrun is actively trying to destroy his own mother's gravesite.
I mean, he doesn't want more people to be buried with it, but...
Well, I just mean that's the impact that all these people are having when they're trying to destroy.
Yeah. Yep.
Goodbye, Rome.
And Athens.
I guess if we just said Italy, that would have covered everything.
再び燃え上がる大地にキラは次回機動戦士ガンダムシードデスティニー混迷の大地
What are you shooting at?
And why is, again, the chairman smirking again?
Also, wasn't Land of Confusion the name of... I think Land of Confusion was the name of an episode in the first season.
Well, at least I know it's a Genesis song from 1980.
Yeah, no, that's why I specifically remember it, because I remember thinking of the Genesis song. Also a music video filled with puppets.
About the end of the world.
Well, but at least the Reagan administration.
Yeah. But yeah, the Cold War and the end of the world. And so.
You know, I mean, I understand the motivation. Like I said, I understand the motivations of this breakaway Zaft faction. I guess the Patrick faction.
Yeah.
Because they very specifically called this new era the Klein one. Because again, Siegel Klein. Again, he was the councilman. He was the Supreme Councilman for Peace.
Yeah.
Who then gets just like killed with no voice lines in the movie. Like they don't even address him. You don't see any of his peace stuff. You don't see any of him talking to Patrick about why peace matters more than war. Nothing. You just go straight. As far as the movies are concerned, Patrick was just in charge the whole time.
Yeah.
I get it though. Like you said, the only way I'm going to change any of this is if I crush the earth with my daughter's grave. That's what the dude says, basically.
Yeah, but it's dumb.
It's not dumb. It's just the same conceit that the first season had. He said, Patrick was right. We need to see this through. And they didn't really do anything, as far as we saw, to stop what the people that agreed with Patrick.
I mean, they destroyed the ship, and Patrick got killed.
Yeah, I mean, killing Patrick is all. I mean, not everybody on Jashin Do agreed with Patrick. Otherwise, Patrick wouldn't have gotten shot. Also, all those people who evacuated that Patrick felt he needed to point a gun at, no, get back to your seats.
Yeah.
It just happens to be that there was more of a diehard, group of people that agreed with him. Just like everybody, this is, again, the mirror thing. Because the main thing that we didn't see a lot of people that were diehard for Patrick at the final battle. We saw a lot of people that agreed with Asriel's point of view on the Earth Alliance side of the final battle. You know, we're like, oh man, we just lost everything. The moon base is gone. Fuck it, make those plant bastards pay. Right up until the very end, right until they themselves got hit by Jashin Do. So again, it's just a mirror. It's not really a mirror in that we've seen that we've got Earth Alliance versions of that out here too, and Zaft forces, who ironically, I would guess, never would get along either.
Yeah.
No thoughts?
Oh, well, I'm thinking that. I'm still thinking because that guy, not in this episode, last episode, he already had the idea like, oh well, this is happening and we should be ready for war, right? And it's like, wow, you came up with that pretty fast, dude. Almost as if either you're the smartest person ever and are so quick on your feet to like get everybody together. We're gonna survive this somehow.
Well, I mean, that's why I called him Ozymandias, because he was in this episode.
Yeah. And it's like, no way, or this is part of his plan all along. Which would explain why when I guess Bogey 1 deployed its mechs, they were attacking everybody. They were killing everybody. As opposed to like either watching what's going on and then attack, or attack one side or the other, right? They're like, oh, we don't like, all these guys are coordinators. We don't like them. Kill them all, right? Even though this thing is about to crush Earth, I suppose. It's like, I guess they don't care that much about Earth, you know?
I don't know. There's two elements that are not contradictory. There's two elements that are in play. One would be your question before about why they had the fuel pods. Like, are they from some faraway base and they don't care about the Earth because of that?
And then we see, oh well, yeah, that's right. I shouldn't assume that they're on Earth just because I saw the horses. After all, inside the plants, it looks Earth-like, unless you see a tower or something that tells you otherwise.
Yeah.
So they could be in a base in Mars or another.
Well, living in space is not a coordinator make.
Yeah.
It's the genetic stuff. It just happens to be that coordinators were forced off of Earth and they decided to live out in space.
Yeah.
So this isn't Universal Century where, we're just like, we're the new race because we're from space. It's like, you're not different. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So,
I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's the case. But as you said, we can't just assume. They might be showing us all this shit just to make us think that they're on Earth. But again, that guy could be in a bunker underground for all we know.
Or a space station, or a place on Mars, or somewhere like that, like
I
a
don't
dome
know.
city.
I don't know about Mars because everything has been in the same universal century vein of just being like Lagrange points, and we're not that far out.
Or an underground moon city or something like that.
I don't know. We hit the moon with the Jashindu was the name of the asteroid in front of the super weapon that was protecting it. I cannot remember the name of the super weapon. So every time I've said Jashindu this whole time, I mean the super weapon.
Yeah, I know.
Not the military base that gets nuked, by the way. So it would be the ruins of Jashindu.
But they do mention that Earth still has forces in Luna. Like, those forces wouldn't be able to arrive on time. So yes, I guess one of the bases got nuked, but not all.
Well, it was the main one. It's the one they kept all their nukes at and everything.
Yeah.
Because they implied during the final battle that they had no base to go back to. So maybe they just rebuilt it in the last 7 months.
It's not like,
or built a new one.
It's not like the moon is going to miss a crater or three,
Yeah. I don't know. There's that element. The fact that they dress the way they do, like the whole Romefeller joke that I keep making, might imply that they are
Rockefeller?
No, that they are insular enough that they're not
dressing like normal people on Earth or
well, no,
space.
I mean, yeah, that's what I meant by insular, but I mean that they're not like in contact with anybody else, that they can be this odd because they are isolated.
Yeah, they're borrowing from the Empire and Legends of Galactic Heroes, like with tailcoat.
Well, I mean more so that, hey, we've decided what society should be like, and this is how we're going to live in that society, and to make those means, we're going to get rid of all the rest of the people. But we're not with those people, so we don't have to worry about it. We're insular, we're isolated. That'd be the explanation for why they're on a space station or something.
Yeah, they don't have to worry about the planet getting nuked because...
Well, I mean that, and they don't have to worry about their society as it is being influenced by outside, like, anything, because they're not, like, in Europe. Like, they're not, like, a little commune deciding to dress like this and act like it's 1,000 years ago or whatever. They're, in fact, somewhere else. This is like the, No, I had an example, but it doesn't apply. Never mind. Yeah, it's the same thing that I felt. I guess this is actually better than the first season. Not first season of Seed. This is better than the first 10 episodes of Seed, where I felt like there was problems in the narrative, in that I didn't feel anything for anybody, and the world building of the show and the things that people were doing just didn't resonate with me. I think I said it before. The first half of the first season, second half, pretty good. Last bit, really good. And I feel like here we're standing on the shoulders of Seed. So the first bit is built with a mystery, who is doing what. We don't know who the motivators are that are causing this, and we're just now becoming aware that there's factionalization and what those factions are after. But I'm more invested than I was in the first season. So whereas the first part of the first season is meh to me, this part stands on the shoulders and gets already to, this is pretty good. I'm at pretty good status already because I'm already invested in the world, and some of the characters are here that I ended up liking in Seed.
Yeah.
If this was the first show of the first season of something, I'd be, what the fuck is going on? Are they just ripping off? Ironically, I'd be like, are they just ripping off Mobile Suit Gundam?
Yeah. Which is, some people feel that way about the whole thing about Seed. So
again, it was a reboot, remake, whatever. So I don't really feel that way about it, knowing that was the cause to begin with. That's that they didn't develop a whole new universal century around it is the only thing that lowers that. Because if you were going to do that, it feels like to me you should stop the universal century.
Yeah.
And then develop this into a new thing. New audience, new art style. The main problem, I know a lot of people say this isn't a problem, but I could see it being a problem, is that a lot of people don't want to go back and watch animation from 1979. to then, see the main story where everything branches off from. And this would be, instead of 1979, going back and watching something from 2007.
Yeah.
Which would make it a lot easier to restart your whole century thing from.
Yeah.
Well, final thoughts?
Not as bad as I expected. I was complaining a lot about, reusing the thing, but at the same time, they did focus enough on the battle over it and breaking it apart. It's like, yeah, we can't stop it, but we're gonna try to minimize the damage, right? It's as opposed to what happened in Origins was just some ships shooting at
can't shit at things. It doesn't work.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, it just didn't work, right? Made sense why they tried, but at the same time,
I've always argued that they made it worse.
Yeah. So there you go. So that was exciting enough that I wasn't thinking like, oh, they're going back to the well. But I have to give it a little more time and see the aftermath of this to see if it actually works for me or not.
Well, I mean, even if you have a problem with the reuse of the colony drop concept, it at least introduced the fourth or fifth, depending on what you think about, faction.
Yeah.
And that we know that there is, in fact, another zaft faction out there and what they're all about.
Also, I think the thing I didn't understand is like, why would anybody want to? Because the thing is, okay, you want to restart. You may want to attack directly the people that hurt you. Okay, fine. But then it was like, yeah, but doing it this way just seems so extreme. But then when he said, what's his name? Sala was right. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Because if I accepted that Sala was perfectly willing to aim a giant laser cannon or energy beam at the Earth, I have to assume that other people who felt like him were willing to follow that path.
Yeah, it's the genocide faction. They're not looking for forgiveness whatsoever. So our whole debate last episode about people wouldn't want forgiveness if they were trying to restart the war. Well, they did a double whammy here, that they made a faction that wouldn't want forgiveness by default, let alone having the motivation to restart the war. However, I don't think that these guys have the motivation to restart the war. They're not trying to restart the war. They're trying to end the war. Again.
Yeah.
A war that nobody else thought that they were fighting still.
Yeah. Well, I guess for them, the war never really ended. It never ended, right? What people are trying to do are appeasing the enemy as opposed to protecting them rather than, fighting to win and to survive, right?
Unfortunately, though, this is my big unfortunately, I think I'm probably going to side with the Patrick faction.
Really?
They have classic gins. No one else is using the classic gins anymore. I don't need the Zaku's as the main. I said this during the episode.
Okay, you told me last time when I said that I would bring an argument that you didn't like because it completely defeated the thing that you're saying by bringing light into the actual aspect of this. Are you ready for me to say that? Okay, are you siding with the genocide faction? Because they have.
Are you spelling that with a G-I-N-N?
Oh, God. Just saying, because here you don't have the Jaburo is a key target and this is the best way to destroy it. This is, we're just going to kill a bunch of people.
Yeah, I guess this is the one problem with shows that have like a serious message is that it's really hard to watch them just for, fun.
I mean, it's a whole anti-war thing.
It is fun, but I mean, it's hard to say I want to side with the faction that has the cool mobile suits because I like watching cool mobile suits with cool designs, and then you give the cool mobile suits to the morally reprehensible faction, and it's like, but I want cool mobile suits. Aren't they supposed to be selling me toys? Isn't this a toy-selling show?
I mean, now I was going to do it. And I'm not going to do it. Because I was going to go to the 1940s. We're not doing
hard,
that.
Right? We've all decided that they are the people it's universally acceptable to point at and say, no. So, but at the same time, no one likes making references. So,
okay, I'm going to bring a reference to the British. they had cool red uniforms with nice caps while they were conquering Africa.
Okay, those look fucking stupid though. Look, even if I watch, I can't remember the name of the movie. Even if I watch a random movie about the Zulu, let's say, the British uniforms are not the best part. They're not even the best look in the movie.
But
Look,
I'm sure
if I watch Sharp's rifles, it's not the people wearing red that look the coolest in the series.
Yeah.
Well,
just Sharp. That's the series, yeah.
Well, no, it's the name of the series, but every Sharp's rifles, Sharp's, every one of the things is a different name because it's named after the books have different names. And then, I don't know, I've only watched 6 of them so far. I was planning to finish them, but there's a ton
think
of
they end up with him going to India.
Don't tell me. I plan to finish them. Let me tell you how it ends. This is the way to do this. I know he goes to India because what's his name is there. I've seen a clip of it's the guy from the very first one who sends him across the bridge.
The villain. Yeah,
and he's there and he's very sick and like delirious. And I've seen a clip of that and I was like, oh man, I want to catch up with that guy's story too, and that's why I want to finish. Anyway, I like the Jins. I said during the first season that the Jins are so much cooler looking than Zaku's. And then now Zaku's are back, sort of, and that these things are named Zaku, and they look like the artist, saw a Zaku once and then tried to redraw it. And I want the Jins back. And one faction has Jins. And what am I going to do? Not have Jins?
Or not have genocide?
I feel like, okay, here's my final argument on this part. I hope, unless you give me something back and then I'm going to keep going. I feel like I can have a faction that I like visually, and I can still have a moral debate about things that doesn't center around that, right? Like, I can play Warhammer 40k and play Tyranids and not be like, yeah, but I like to eat everything too,
And I get it, because I also play Tyranids and Warhammer 40k because they have pretty cool abilities. I don't agree with them consuming all biomatter in the galaxy.
I think the Tyranids were probably a bad pull because they don't have like there's no.
Oh, they have a central. They do have a central consciousness.
Yeah, no, but so. There's not like we're not getting into a debate with the Tyranids about ethics and whatnot, right? Yeah, it's not like the human factions or any of the other alien factions.
The Tau,
that you could debate things about. But that's what I'm saying.
As the Tau have cool technology. It's like, oh yeah, we want to bring peace and harmony to everybody. Yeah, but it's based communism. It's like we bring peace and
I do think the Tau are probably my favorite after. Well,
yeah.
I like the theme of the sorry, on the tip of my tongue. Mars.
Mars, what? The
Endressers, the Omnisci. Come on, help me out. You know the faction I'm talking about.
Yeah. You're talking about the Mechanicus Adeptus.
Yeah, they're like when you have to play the games and everything, and they're your only option for like technology-based shit. That's who I go with. But I like the Tau for one. Fucking mobile suits, but also I got no problem with their civilization. If I had to live in any civilization in Warhammer 40k, fucking Tau. Yeah. The people so innocent that they like go into mental issues just knowing about the rest of the galaxy. Yeah, so Tau all the way. Make fun of them all you want, but they're the best faction.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had another thought. So yeah, no, that was the end of my thought being I would represent them if this was like a tabletop game or something. The Patrick faction, the Patrick faction, because they have the mobile suits that I want to see, and this is a mobile suit centric series, right?
So let me get this straight: the Patrick faction has a fashion that you like in a mobile suit.
Yeah, you couldn't even turn it into a tongue tie. You needed more P's and F's, I guess.
Or F's.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like if I had to choose a mobile suit amongst the bunch, like Jin's don't have like great efficiency, but they look really cool. They look certainly better than the Orb mobile suits. They look better than the Earth. Sorry, what do we call them? M1s. They look better than the M1s, which is we know the Earth Alliance uses. They don't specifically have any of their own Gundams yet, so I guess maybe we'll see if that comes into play. Assumedly, every faction's going to have a fucking Gundam, otherwise it's not going to be a fair fight. And for some reason, every fight has to be somewhat fair, or otherwise be able to take up a whole episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's got to be my pick. I mean, what's your pick then?
What do you mean my pick?
We have 5 factions to choose from. Who are you siding with?
Well,
for any reason at all.
Largely, I am siding with a mix of Orb and zaft. But the problem with siding with zaft is I find that their Chairman Chairman
New
Durando
zaft, you mean?
New zaft he's too squarely for my taste. He has that smirk all the time. He's like,
you're having a problem with Durandal of the old style, never opens his eyes character. Classic anime, if you don't open your eyes, you're typically the bad guy. With one ironic example, given the thing I've said 100 times in the last 10 minutes. So, the classic anime villain or the unexpected anime villain is the one who just closes their eyes and then they open it once a season or something.
Yeah.
So that's his smile.
Yeah, that's the thing. Otherwise, Orb, because they're the ones who are the peaceful faction.
That's currently rebuilding their military bases, as we've already been told. So they're actually rebuilding their military, and their leader isn't present and apparently doesn't care that much about the qualms of their citizenry.
And she's trying to help people not be destroyed by a giant thing that's falling out of the sky.
Actually, no, she's not, because she could get on a ship, go to Earth, and then try to, organize something in her country. She decided to stay on the ship to watch, because she's not actively doing anything. She decided to be a figurehead in that I was on the ship, great for publicity, not for, statesmanship.
Publicity is statement. Well, he's part of it anyway.
No. Publicity is politics.
And politics is part of statement. It's
the lesser part. Politics is negotiating with people in your own country that don't have the country's best interests at heart, that are just playing the game to get... Politics is a game, and it's not always for the improvement of everyone. So... it's the thing that we were talking about before about, I think it was like yesterday or something about meritocracy, that if you made meritocracy the system, it would be a game to play to get to the top and not even about being the best anymore. Systems become games for power.
True. But that's true with any system, I suppose.
Yeah, well, that was the point. Is that nothing is infallible because humans aren't infallible.
So yeah, I think that we're gonna leave it at that because that's wraps up everything.
All right. Well, once again, I have been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?